last year I watched 30 new animes, and this year I watched 10. What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video, and today as part of my 2025 wrapped, let's get ready for 2026, today I'm going to be tier listing every single new anime that I watched this year. Now in order for me to call it a new anime, that doesn't necessarily mean it itself is a new anime, it just means that I started it for the first time this year. Whether it started last year, it started 10 years ago, or started this year, it is new to me in the year 2025. And last year I did 30 new, but this year I focused a little bit more on Naruto, and I still haven't finished Shippuden, but that one took up a lot of my time because there's a lot of them. But I still was able to manage a few short ones. Most of these are super freaking short, honestly, so there wasn't a ton new stuff that I did, but there was, and I think that they all deserve to be talked about. So we're gonna dive right in, but before we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. We are oh so freaking close to hitting 100,000 subscribers before the actual start of the new year. So if you are watching this and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. There's gonna be so many cool things happening in the year 2026. You don't wanna miss it. Okay, and these are randomized. They are not in order of watching, and I will also admit that most of these were in the first half of the year. I'm gonna be totally real with y'all. There are two things that happened this year. Okay, there's a few things that happened this year that kept me from watching a lot more than what I did. One of which is there were a lot of shows that I watched previously, like I started in 2024 or before, that got new seasons this year. I also was gone for an entire month in Japan, and that kind of put my schedule out of whack. It made this year in general feel very different. And then finally, when Demon Slayer came out, it was really hard to do anything else other than think about Demon Slayer. That's on hyperfixations. We'll talk about that one in my tier list about shows that I started in a different year and the new season was in 2025. Anyway, so we're gonna start with Kaguya-sama Love is War. This one was a very solid show. I think there's actually more to come. I thought that it was like completely finished from start to finish, but I think I just saw that there was an announcement of like another anime season coming next year, so that's exciting. I liked this show. I've been very upfront. If you have been with me for a while and you watched this video last year when I was ranking my animes from 2024, I'm not the biggest fan of slow burn. It has to be done very, very, very well. And there's very few shows that I love that have a slow burn romance. And usually those shows, there's also like other plot within it, like Fruits Basket or The Apothecary Diaries. Kaguya-sama was really cute, and I liked the premise of it. I liked the characters in it, but I got really freaking annoyed halfway through. So long story short, I'm gonna put it in B because it was very good. I very much enjoyed it. I just at one point was so annoyed that I actually like stopped watching for like a week and then came back to it because I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I am including the original Naruto series in this. Like I said, I am still working on Shippuden. I hope to get it done early next year. I haven't been able to touch it for a while just because of life happening, but the original series I completed without watching filler. I have very much liked Shippuden better than the original series. The original series had some really great moments and some really low moments in my opinion. I know so many people love the tune-in exams. I did not enjoy. I almost dropped the show during the tune-in exams. I have so many issues with it from start to finish. It is what it is. The rest of it was actually better than I expected, if I'm being completely honest, so it kind of evened it out. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to also put the, let's put it in A. I definitely like it better than Kaguya-sama, so we're gonna go with A. It really was only the tune-in exam that is one of the only anime arcs that I genuinely dislike. Like, I don't think I could ever bring myself to watching it again. If I wanted to rewatch Naruto at any time, I think I would skip over it. I don't know. I know so many people love it. I couldn't stand it. Anyway, the rest of the series is very good and honestly better than I expected based off of what people were telling me. Everyone was telling me, just get through the original series, just get through the original series. Some people were even saying to skip the original series and jump right into Shippuden. I don't suggest doing that, by the way. So yeah, it still was better than what I thought it was going to be, which is good enough to put it in A. This is Skumichi, which is my first like real official isekai. And similar to the theme of this same video last year, I only watched this for the voice acting. So my favorite voice actor, Natsuki Hanae, we've established I love him. He's the main character. It has a lot of isekai issues. I don't really have... It was fine, but I almost feel like I technically enjoyed it better than Kaguya-sama because I was never annoyed. It was just very isekai, like stereotypical isekai, and there was interesting moments, there was some good action. I have to put it in B as well, I think. I don't think it's bad enough for a C. I'm not really an isekai girly, I think I figured out. It's just not really my cup of tea, which we'll talk about in a moment as well. But it wasn't so bad that, like, I consider C and D to be like leaning more towards bad. B is kind of like, it was good, I enjoyed it, but I had issues with it. So I'm gonna put it in B because I did enjoy it. And I think it's gonna get another season as well. Pandora Hearts. So I watched Pandora Hearts because I'm a big fan of the case study of Vanitas. It's done by the same, or it's written by the same mangaka. Now, I knew going into watching Pandora Hearts that a lot was cut out and that it never fully adapted the entire series. It's only one season and it only adapted like the first 5 volumes or something along those lines. I really do want to pick up the manga. It's on my list to do in 2026 because low-key in 2026, my goal is to watch more or to read more manga. Not necessarily watch less anime, but at least read more manga. I need to read more. And Pandora Hearts is high on my list because a lot of people have talked about how it was like absolutely insane story, crazy twists, just like a masterpiece. And when I watched the anime, it didn't really do anything for me. I hardly enjoyed it. It took me a while to get through it, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't know what was going on half the time, which was partially on me because for some reason, I accidentally started with like episode 6. I don't know how that happened, and I didn't realize it till I got to like episode 9, and I was like, wait a minute, this says 9, I should be on 3, so I start from the beginning, and then it made a lot more sense. But I think I was just I didn't get it. I don't know. So it's hard for me to rank it simply because I know that it's a very unfinished story with the anime. I mean, the anime came out in like 2007, 2008, something like that. And it hasn't gotten a second season. So the likelihood of it getting a second season is very low. That being said, I feel like it's a disservice to put it in C because it's not like I didn't enjoy it, but I have to because I almost forgot that I watched it. And I really do want to read the manga, and I'm going to because I genuinely love the case study of Vanitas, and I read all of the manga for that one as well. And I know, like, I picked up on the fact that so many things got cut out in the Vanitas anime, which I already love the Vanitas anime, though. Which, partially biased because, again, voice acting. But a year has gone by and I have not changed. Holy frick. Okay, so anyway, I want to love Pandora Hearts. I think I will have a very different feeling towards it once I read the manga, which will be on 2026. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do this with manga next year. I only read a few manga this year, so it's not really worth it, but I'm planning on reading a lot next year, so let me know if you want me to do a tier list of manga read as well. Okay, Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I'm seeing a lot of mixed reactions about this one. It's fairly new. It just came out a couple months ago, and my husband and I decided to sit down and watch this one on a random Saturday night when we were bored, I think. We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. I knew that people were talking about it, but I didn't know much about it. And low-key, super enjoyed it. A lot of people, for some reason, are saying they don't really like it. A lot of people are calling it slow burn. I don't really consider it slow burn. And this one is at the top of my list to keep reading with manga. I genuinely finished the show and was happy I did it. I genuinely was like, that was such a good use of my time. It was so wholesome. It was so sweet. It has some good character development as well. It kind of dealt with some different types of childhood trauma and that sort of thing. So I'm putting it in S because I totally enjoyed it. There's nothing that I didn't like about The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity other than the name being a mouthful and very strange. To Be Hero X. So To Be Hero X, once again, I should have a counter of how many times I say, I watched this anime for Natsuki Hanae. I didn't know what I was getting myself into with To Be Hero X. I had no idea what it was going to be about. Do I know what it was about? No. I'm kidding. It's genuinely a show I think I need to watch again to get a full understanding of what exactly happened, because I realized at the very end that I wasn't paying attention to the timeline enough, and I didn't understand that it was all in the past. I thought it was all happening like simultaneously with the first episode, and it wasn't. So I was very confused for a lot of it, and then once I realized that it was actually a different timeline that I was thinking, it made a lot more sense. I think To Be Hero X, personally, my own perception of the story is it takes like what My Hero Academia kind of tried to do, where it showed, that heroes are not always good people, that a lot of them are in it for the greed and the fortune. And To Be Hero X like amplified that by 100 and made it like the hero side truly being like super, super sketchy, and the people in charge were manipulative and were in it for the money and always doing these bad things and pulling the wool over people's eyes. I thought the premise of it is very, very interesting. The animation is very interesting too, because it like changes art styles. I don't want to say too much, and I personally think everyone should give it a go because it was genuinely very thought-provoking. I think I just kind of shot myself in the foot by not paying attention to the timeline. So my advice to you, if you start watching To Be Hero X, make sure you pay attention to the little timeline dates that they have. I just didn't pay enough attention. I didn't know it was as important as it was, and it made me very confused throughout. The characters are also very good, very well developed, very interesting. The premise is interesting. I'm gonna put it in S, even though I feel like I need to watch it again to fully understand what it was truly about. I got enough from it to tell me that this was very good. Everything about it was like a very solid S tier worthy anime. Okay, yet another one. So what do we have? I think this is, third anime this year that I watched for Natsuki Hanai. I already knew about this story. I actually found out about it all the way back in 2023 at Anime Expo, and that was because Hanai-san did a panel for Twisted Wonderland, but it was for the phone game. And the friend group that I was with, we kind of all downloaded the game, started playing with it. I played it for like a couple months and then got kind of bored, if I'm being completely honest. It just wasn't a very interesting game to me. But I have a couple friends who continued to play it for quite a while, cosplayed from it. I've wanted to cosplay Riddle for a while. It's just a super expensive cosplay to get, and I've been taking a break from cosplay because I got super burnt out. So I've already known about it for a while, and I always knew I was going to watch it when it came out as an anime. But this one high-key disappointed me. I don't know why. I just found it really boring. And I think it's gonna get better. It's not that I'm not gonna watch it. I have never once dropped an anime. I have never once been like, that anime sucked. There's definitely been animes that I've been disappointed in or just didn't necessarily fully enjoy, but I have never like genuinely hated an anime that I've watched. A lot of people ask me like, what's a 1 out of 10 anime? I don't think I've given any anime a 1 out of 10. There's something good about all of them, and that might just be me always looking at the best in anything that I try to do. I am a bit of an optimist when it comes to certain things, but it did disappoint me. I felt like the animation was very stagnant. There was a lot of just standing around and talking, and then when there was movement, it was just the character standing and then swishing their arms and magic coming out, so it just felt very slow. The story progressed so slowly the first few episodes, and then at the very end got really crazy really fast, and the last 2 episodes were quite good. Hats off to Natsuki Hanai for, in my opinion, completely carrying those last 2 episodes with his voice acting, because he did an absolutely fantastic job at sounding absolutely crazy. Like evil sounding crazy. It was so cool. I would watch it just for that again. But in general, and this is also an isekai, I think it's like officially in the isekai genre, it was not it for me. And I've read some of the manga and I wanted to love it so bad. And in a way, I still love Twisted Wonderland as a universe, and I'm going to continue to watch it. The anime itself just disappointed me. That being said, it's not low enough to go in D. I don't think I watched anything that's worthy of D. I should have just deleted it. It'll go in C. I feel like maybe I should put it in D because my feelings of dislike towards it are a bit stronger than what Pandora Hearts did. I wanted to love it. Like, I genuinely wanted to love it. I just felt like it wasn't doing it for me this time around, so it was unfortunate, but I'll leave it and see because I'm still willing to give it a lot more. There's only 8 episodes of this first season too, and that's what makes a lot of this so hard is most of these shows are fairly short, so I'm not able to go off of a lot when I'm ranking it, where it's like I've gotten such a short period of time of it, I haven't gotten to know the characters well enough yet to be like, I love you. But that being said, Medalist! Okay, so a lot of you probably joined me during the Medalist time. A lot of things have happened since season 1 came out. Season 2 is about to come out in January. I may be biased towards this, but Medalist is my favorite of everything new that I watched. And I think there's a few reasons for this. So obviously number 1 is because I am a figure skater, and anything that's about my sport, I tend to lean towards just loving a lot because I love my sport and I love watching things about it. Another reason why it's so high on my list is because it's way more realistic than pretty much any other figure skating movie I have ever seen growing up with. There's gonna be a Netflix show that comes out in January as well. I'm actually gonna watch that on my skating channel, so it's in the description. If you're interested in more specifically skating stuff, go subscribe to that channel. But it was really refreshing to see an anime or just a show in general that showed like true, real knowledge of jumps and of levels and how things work. Yes, Inori's journey has been a bit unrealistic, but that is to be expected. It is an anime after all. And then just on top of it, like this show, I built a really cool community off of it at the beginning of the year. And it also just really gave me that final push to say, I want to get back into competing. And here I am, less than 2 months away from my first competition, which is kind of crazy. I'm freaking out just a tiny bit because I'm definitely not quite ready to compete yet, but it's okay. I'll make it happen. But Medalist was really the push into deciding to text my coach and say, hey, I actually want to get back into it and I actually want to compete because I had been thinking about it for a couple of years, but always just kind of consider that to be a time where I wasn't going to come back to it, and here I am. So Medalist just means a lot to me for many, many different reasons. The show itself was very well done too. Like the animation is very good. It makes me cry multiple times because it's actually just really well done. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say about it other than maybe that Inori's journey has been a little bit unrealistic. Like she's moved along with things a little bit faster than a normal human being would. But again, you gotta sometimes be okay with a show depicting something slightly unrealistically because it's a show, it's not real life. Sakamoto days. Okay, so interestingly enough, I remember when the first season was airing, even just when they released the OP, which I think was before the show actually came out, people were dragging this. I really enjoyed it. This was a very, very enjoyable watch. Is it the most incredible show I've ever seen? No. I should also add this is the final anime that I watched simply because Natsuki Hanai was in it, like genuinely. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 animes. 4 out of the 10 animes this year I only watched simply because of the voice actor in it. Wow. Round of applause for Natsuki Hanai. He's changing my world. Okay, that was cringe. Anyway. What did I just do? Okay, so Sakamoto Days was very fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's a couple moments where I'm like, what? Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I wouldn't say it's worthy of S tier though. I'm gonna put it in A just because there were some times where it kind of lost me. Season 2, not as good as season 1 in my opinion, but characters are enjoyable. Everything's really interesting within it. The animation is fine. It doesn't really push the envelope, but I always felt like it was kind of aiming for a more retro feel. So I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's very average, but it was very enjoyable. So it's going in A. Bocchi the Rock. Right after I finished this, they announced that the next season is coming, which I'm really excited about. I think this was actually the very first one that I watched this year outside of watching Naruto. So my memory is a little bit hazy, but this was really freaking cute. The characters are really endearing. The story of her being so shy that she can't even make friends, let alone perform on stage, which would be such a hard conundrum to be in if you're so talented with music. If you want to make anything out of music, you have to put yourself out there. It's one of those things where you can't really be a musician and not be in front of crowds of people. So I really, really liked that premise and kind of her friends and her bands trying to help her through that. And I don't remember exactly where it ended because it's been a minute, but this was a thoroughly enjoyable, very adorable show that I'm gonna put in A. I would definitely say my enjoyment out of it was less than the 3 that are in S, but more than the 2 that are in B by a lot. Because B, like both of those shows, I genuinely had some issues here and there with them. A was just like, this was solid, except for Naruto, but Naruto's an A because there was one thing that I really had an issue with. Everything else was better than I was expecting. So anyway, those are the 10 new animes that I watched. For the record, if I was including Naruto Shippuden in this, it would be an S because it's been absolutely fantastic, but I cannot include it until I have watched everything that is out there, whether that be a show that has something from start to finish or a show that is multiple seasons in, or just a show like many of these, it was just 1 season so far. I had to be able to watch what is out from start to finish this season for it to be included in this. So that is the 10 new animes that I watched this season. You might be asking why I did not include Blue Box when I said in my last year's video that I was going to in this one, because so many of the animes that I had already been watching had a new season this year. I'm actually going to include Blue Box on that video because I think there's actually more that got new seasons or a new movie. There were a couple that got a new movie this year. I'm going to include Blue Box with that one. So there's my tier list for new animes of 2025. Be on the lookout. There's a lot more videos coming your way regarding New Year's. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. And I will see you all in the next one. Oh, final reminder, if you're leaving a comment, remember that these are just my opinions. There is no objective reason behind me saying this. I usually start the videos off when I do tier lists with that. I forgot this time. So yeah, don't hate me for my opinions. This is not based off of anything objective. This is just my yapping session. So before you get all angry and comment something about my takes being weird, it's my perception of anime. So anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video. Matane!